We're live with the season 3 premiere of Breaking Bad, No Moss, and it lays the groundwork between Walt and Gus. Um, we found out that Walt told Skyler that he's manufacturing meth in the opener, and holy cow, what is going on?
Well, she kind of guessed it. She was sitting there asking him,
hmm
because he had told her about buying marijuana from Jesse.
Yeah,
And
she knew
remember,
something was going on. She
yeah,
just couldn't put
remember
her finger on it.
in season 1, she went to Jesse's house and
hmm
he was trying to hide, I think it was Emilio's body.
Yeah.
And, she was saying, don't sell marijuana to my husband anusmore.
Yo.
Yo. Oh, yeah.
I'm Skyler like, yo. Hut, wife of Walter White, yo. But so Walt is having some guilt with the plane crash and everything, and we see that with all the newsreel that opened up the episode, which I
Yeah.
loved. It was great. I like how they used actual newscasters and made this story more believable.
Yeah, they did. They used Ashley Banfield, who was on CNN. She was one of the newscasters, and
hmm
they probably used some local newscasters
Yeah.
there in Albuquerque also
Oh, here comes
to
Ellen.
really give it some authenticity, I think.
Hey, Ellen.
Ellen, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Sorry about that. I just have
Hey!
problems with this for some reason.
Yeah, we were just talking about the newsreel they showed in the beginning of the episode.
Which could have made you think that the news was actually cutting in.
Yeah,
That was
It
kind of
is.
cool the way they did it.
realistic. I love that. That was great. But
And, yeah, it's over a period of days. You can tell
mhm.
new info comes out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We learned that Walter is having some guilt over this, and yeah.
Mhm.
What was you guys' thoughts on this? Because I think Walt he's having guilt like he is. He's basically during the seminar with the high school was just basically blowing it off, saying that
I
we'll
mean,
just move on. We'll just move
that
on with
was
this.
a really bizarre speech that he gave. That
hmm
was very bizarre.
He was trying to deflect. He was trying to take the weight off his own shoulders.
hmm
And it is kind of brutally true.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think what he talked about, one of the plane crashes he talked about I don't know if it was the real name of it, but something like that happened in like L.A. I think it was over L.A. where two planes
hmm
were misdirected into each other, and it's true. I mean, it's got a big impact when it happens, and then years go by, and people don't think about it so much. Other things happen
Yeah.
that take up more recent memory. So,
hmm
but he's burning the money. And
Yeah,
just
he
the
was
way he
trying to.
looked before he talked in that gym, just his face was like,
hmm
you know, I think he feels like he caused this.
And one of the girls that was in the audience was Bryan Cranston's real life daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. Well, I think was it the one about the how about the neighbors? That had to been because that was the only girl.
What do
I
you
think
mean?
so.
Was that the one that was talking? Was that his daughter?
The one that she had to tell to stand up
Yeah.
and keep it secular? Yeah, that's his daughter.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite one was the guy that's saying they have this thing in college where if your roommate kills themselves, you get an automatic A, which is the same guy that went to Walter about his test that he failed, and Walt was like, "Don't bullshit a bullshitter."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah. It's the
remember that
exact same
scene.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. yes, I could see where that fits.
And of course, on the episode, we see Jesse
In rehab.
in rehab,
Hmm.
and the group leader is played by a veteran character actor named Jerry Burns.
Ooh,
Um,
which role did he star in?
he was the group leader.
But what was some
The
of
one
the shows
the
that
one
he
that
was in?
the one that he ran over his daughter.
Yeah, I know who
He
you're
ran
talking
over-
about.
Yeah.
But you said he was an actor. What
Like, what
else?
else
Yeah.
was he in?
Yeah.
He used to be on a show called Dear John years ago with Judd Hirsch.
I haven't.
Mm.
Yeah, that's.
Any
That
relation,
sounds-
Ellen, by the way? Is there any relation, or do you know? Because
What?
he's from Massachusetts. That actor is from Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
His name is Burns.
Same spelling as yours.
That's funny. I know other people who are Burnses, and like 2 different families of other spelled the same and everything. I work for a Burns family in the summer. But no relation. It's so common. Like, my name's really hard to search for on Facebook. There's a zillion of me. Never find me.
But what he delivered was great. I like the monologue he did with him running over his daughter. That was his little
Oh,
heart
yeah.
wrenching right there.
Yeah,
But-
basically trying to, and he didn't just throw it out there. Jesse pressed him, and
Mhm.
look, I can forgive myself. I can accept, not forgive, really accept, is what he was saying. And then Jesse comes to the conclusion, and he's the bad guy, because Jesse's feeling guilt over this too.
Yeah.
But one thing we see at the beginning, we see this group of people on their hands and elbows crawling towards this building,
Yeah.
which appears to be some sort of a makeshift shrine to some saint or something
The
like that.
cartel, yeah.
Hmm.
The cartel. And then we see the twins show up, and they're doing it.
Cousins. The cousins.
Those
Yeah,
Yeah.
criminals.
They go to the shrine to get approval to kill Heisenberg.
Yeah, because they had the sketch of Heisenberg.
Mhm.
And
You put it up there.
as soon as those boots stepped out, I knew something bad was going to happen. Because those boots, I want a pair of those boots. Those boots are fantastic.
Yeah.
It's funny, that guy in the truck was talking and talking and talking, and then he saw the boots and just went,
Hmm.
oh crap, I shouldn't have said anything. They are ruthless. They're silent and deadly,
Hmm.
and they just walk into a room or a space, and everybody is compliant and
Mhm.
quiet.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they didn't leave any witnesses.
Hmm.
You know, they killed everybody inside the truck, then they killed the driver, then they blew up the truck.
Yeah.
And walked away. That was the scene that they had to get it right, like not flinch.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they were going to have to do another explosion.
And I'm
they
glad
got
they
it.
got it in one take.
Yeah.
That was great.
Like just a normal day.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And Bryan Cranston directed this episode.
That's right, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first episodes of some seasons he'll do, and then after that he's kind of too busy.
Yeah.
Same with Blood Money 509. You know, it was kind of like a new season.
Hmm.
So he directed that one.
So we found out that Gus wants Walter back, so he offers him $3 million for 3 months,
Mhm.
and Walter is saying no, but I think he wants to take that offer up.
Oh yeah, that intrigues him, and he's conflicted. Burn the money, throw it in the pool, jump in the pool because you're on fire,
Hmm.
you know. And then he pretty much just tells Hank the truth about that bag, right?
Hmm. He does.
Yeah.
Tells him the truth.
Yeah. Hank is like, what you
ready
got
to
in there,
take
buddy?
Flashes.
Hmm.
Hank is like, what you got in there, buddy? Cinder blocks? He says, $500,000 in cash. And Hank looks at him and just laughs like, yeah, right, buddy.
Walt was telling the truth.
Yeah.
And he's agonized because this has destroyed his marriage and his family life, and It's like money or them, and he wants it all, but he wants them more at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Or so he
Yeah.
tries to keep telling himself. But yeah, as soon as Gus says $3 million, he's thinking about it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Gus is acting ever the gentlemanly type. He's like, enjoy your meal. He shakes his hand.
Colonel Sanders, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we also found out that Walt told Skyler that he's manufacturing meth. But
Yeah, he finally.
Skyler kind of knew that. She
finally
knew
fessed
that
up.
he was up to something.
She was upset because she thought it was pot. And I have to say, you got kids.
The reason she thought that was because in season 1, Skyler went to Jesse's house
Mm-hmm.
and told him, quit selling marijuana to my husband, yo.
And she's upset about this. And
Yeah.
then when she finds out it's meth, it's so much worse.
Yeah.
She's not skipping around like, la la, I'm getting a divorce. She's she kind of loses her intelligence. She's all emotion with the lawyer. Because Skyler knows stuff. She knows how to find out how things go. We'll see a great scene when she's trying to convince Bogdan he needs to shut down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was a, that scene and all those scenes where she uses, uses her feminine wiles to try to con people into stuff.
But she has obviously never thought of getting divorced before, at least never approached a lawyer, because her head was spinning and she was really just emotional about it. I mean, even when she says we have 15 years left on the mortgage, that's not, it's how much money, Skyler, you know this, you're an accountant.
Yeah.
But she is just like, this just has to happen. And she's not out, as Walt says, to punish him.
Right.
She's like, no loopholes. She's not looking to screw him over. And, we'll see. She's not really interested in that drug money.
No.
Right, yeah, and the thing is, at that point, when he tells her that, she kind of becomes his silent partner.
Yeah. With
After
the car wash and everything, yeah. Not yet, though, but
right now, though, she's just 4. Like, she's not partnering, but
not just yet. I mean, but it's kind of the seeds of her becoming his silent partner.
Right now, she just doesn't want her kids to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the deal.
And she promises she won't tell Hank either.
Right.
Yeah. Only if you grant the divorce.
Yeah.
And stay out.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not even trying to work out visitation, anything. Just, you're going to do this, you get out. It's a really intense,
And how about
she
Walt
just doesn't
Jr.?
want this in her kids'
Walt
lives.
Jr. is in the middle of this, basically.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's going on. He wants answers.
And thumbs up to R.J. Mitty. I mean, he is tremendous as Walt Jr.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. It's because he does have cerebral palsy in real life, but it's not as severe as he portrayed it when he played Walt Jr.
Yeah.
He actually, when he was a kid, I looked it up. He actually did walk with crutches and braces when he was a kid. And yeah, he actually did. And what happened was he eventually he did some research on people with more severe cases of cerebral palsy, and he decided he was going to kind of ramp it up a little bit, for the role.
Yeah, do the stuttering and crutches and everything.
Right. Yeah.
And he's convincing as a typical teenager.
He really is. Yeah.
He is. I mean, at this point, I'm like,
Well, she
God,
was.
I hate him so much. I hate Walt Jr. so much. But then I realized, yeah, he's a teenager. He's supposed to be doing all this stuff. He's in the middle of everything.
We
Well, you
see
know,
2 years of his life,
Hmm.
but it took R.J. Mitty, what, 6 years, 7, whatever, 6,
yeah.
to do that.
Yep.
So, I mean, by the time they were done, he wasn't a teenager anymore, but
Hmm.
I
he
mean,
was,
at this time, he loves his dad. You know, he's starting to resent his mother.
And
right.
he's dropping the name Flynn. He wants to be called Walt Jr. now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That was an important thing right there for him to for him to adopt, readopt the nickname or readopt Walt Jr.
Yeah. Who came up with
Because she
Flynn? I
can't
hated that.
explain to anybody. And so she's not telling the lawyer,
Hmm.
she's not telling Junior, she's not telling Hank, she's not telling Ray, she's telling nobody.
Yeah.
And, all she can say is, "You're right, Hank, it's none of your business."
Yeah.
And so it's, this is one of those defensive Skyler things. People hate on her, but she's willing to be the bad guy. That's, you really, sometimes you have to do that as a parent. You have to be the bad guy. And it feels
And
horrible.
and I want to clarify something. I don't hate Skyler. It's just I some of the things
Not yet, though. Not yet.
some of the things she did were really despicable, though. I mean, having the affair with Ted and all that. And,
We'll get more into that when we get there.
yeah.
And
You have
I'm
to
interested
define an
to hear
affair.
what Ellen has to say about that.
Well, no, that's that episode. That's coming up this season.
Yeah, it is.
But it gets into, like, what are the circumstances? What's the definition of an affair? And what preceded that, and how desperate she was to get Walt out of the house. But right now, she's just trying to do the lawyer thing and keep a secret for him.
Hmm.
And it's not for him. It's because she knows that Junior really does love his father.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want him to have to face
And that's the only
reality. It
reason
would be
why she's
shocking.
not going to the police because of this.
Right.
Is if she goes to the police about this, Junior finds out, he's going to be an emotional wreck.
This is her golden opportunity right here. If she wanted to really go all the way to get what she wanted, this is where she could have spoken up. I just found out my husband is a drug dealer. And but this door, when it closes, it won't open again.
Yeah.
And she's closing that door. I guess she thinks that Walt will be so afraid of getting caught that he'll take the deal, but like we saw, but he basically told Hank, got $500,000 cash in that bag. Totally serious. He was not joking. He was not playing Hank.
And I think the reason why he did that is because he didn't want Hank touching his money. Because you can tell by the way he was looking at him, he didn't want Hank touching that money at all. Or
I think he was so
Heisenberg coming out a little bit.
He doesn't like that this has caused the dismantling of his family. That Skyler wants him out. This has hit him. It really hit him hard, and he keeps looking at this whole thing and going, "Screw it! I don't want this in my life. I want my family." So let me just tell. It's almost like the cry for help. I'll tell Hank what's in the bag.
Yeah, but Hank kind of just laughed it off and said, yeah, right, buddy. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And Walt didn't. It's not an overwhelming desire to confess, but it's kind of, it's almost like Tourette's. It's coming out when he really doesn't want it to.
Yeah. Like, I got $500,000 cash in this bag. Son of a bitch.
And then when you see Skyler go to where Walt's staying, the Beachcomber, is that the Beachcomber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because we have a place here called the Beachcomber, and it's actually on a beach. But anyway, she's literally like sick to her stomach. She's got to leave,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, and it's just it's the way that she feels. It's not like a chess game. And it was bad enough when she thought it was pot, then when she found out it was meth.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of disagree. I mean, but illegal is illegal. I think it makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's dealing a little pot is not a menace to society.
No.
Meth is not a good thing. That's not like recreationally used every once in a while. That's addiction right there.
Yeah.
It's so different. So it
Mhm.
makes it that much worse for her.
Yeah, exactly. And we also forgot that Walt adopted Crazy 8's cutting off the crust.
Mm-hmm. That's right. He did. Yeah.
And we'll see more of that down on the line.
Yeah, we will. Mm-hmm. Well, we see Walt every time he makes a sandwich, he cuts the crust off it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he looks at everybody that he's come across, and everybody's got something he kind of looks up to,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
something, a quality he'd like to possess, a way, of doing things
Mm-hmm.
he'd like to adopt.
Yeah, because he adopts all these different traits and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're all, to him, bigger criminals than he is. So there's something to learn, kind of like Dexter learning from Trinity.
He's thinking, if I do this,
I don't know
I
if
could
you
be
guys
just as
watched that.
successful as them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're the real criminals, and he's just, it's like he feels like he's an honorary criminal, not a real one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a newbie, and he even says to Gus, "I'm not a criminal.
Yeah.
This is not me. I can't do this. I want my family."
Yeah, and
737 gets to $3 billion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that is a giant leap right there.
Which is interesting. It's interesting. He needed $737,000. That was the number of the plane, the flight.
Yep.
That went down over Albuquerque.
Type of plane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he says it again in the gym when he talks about 747s crashing and how much bigger they are than a 737.
Right. Yeah.
So there's bigger than 737, and he is being lured there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And then dealing with Jesse's guilt, because he's got his own guilt, and he feels bad for Jesse.
Yep.
I'm sure he feels badly for the father, and he sees that the result is really this plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
And he's busy coming up with all kinds of reasons why it's not even inadvertently his fault.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked into it, as he tells Jesse.
Yeah.
And Jesse feels like if he hadn't enabled Jane, then this wouldn't have happened, and the planes wouldn't have crashed. A lot of guilt going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because Jesse felt like it was his fault.
Right.
Exactly.
Jesse says, "I'm the bad guy." And Walt is still trying to plant his feet in the good guy territory.
Uh-huh.
And this, I think, is they're like, in the beginning of the show, here's Walt, here's Jesse down here. And it's going like this.
Yeah.
That precarious balance.
Mm-hmm.
The moral compass and
I'm trying to think, is there anything else we forgot? I just watched the show and I even forgot.
I don't think there's anything we forgot. I think we hit on all
covered most of it.
I think we did, yeah.
Oh, just another shout out to the beach though, with Marie having sushi. That was pretty funny. And Hank's like, 2 days drive to the nearest beach. All I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I think we covered the most important parts that's leading into the second
You're
episode.
dying to get to Better Call Saul. You're
I
just
am.
dying.
I'm dying to get there.
Dying.
Oh
Yes.
my God. Better Call Saul was fantastic. We saw more of Mike. Jimmy was basically the background character this week.
Yeah.
But the coffee and the thing that he did, it's going to play
What?
a bigger important role instead of
Juan Valdez bump and dump.
yeah. That is going to play a bigger
I
role
mean, Jimmy,
coming up.
rather.
Oh.
I think that's going to be a bigger role coming up. But
Oh, by the way,
we was both right. We was both right. So we got more information about Mike's son and his daughter-in-law, and the two cops that killed his son. And oh my God, that just blew me away.
that
And
was yeah. Do you know the guy that wrote this episode? This is his first.
yeah, I heard that. He did terrific.
Yeah.
He did terrific.
Yeah, he did. This was an amazing episode. I mean,
Mhm.
Better Call Saul. The thing about Better Call Saul is it's been played for laughs a lot. Because Bob Odenkirk kind of lends himself out to that. Jimmy or Saul is kind of a comedic character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been lighter. I mean,
Yeah.
Breaking Bad
this
is really
episode
dark. And
took a dark turn.
yeah.
And we kind of expected that because it's going to be a Mike story. Anything with Mike is going to be dark.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, had the gist of the story figured out before we went in.
Mhm.
And then we're watching, and as we're going along, we're noticing, he's faking being drunk.
Oh, I know. That was brilliant. Him acting
Fantastic.
like he was drunk.
When he handed over his gun, he had a gun in the back seat.
Yeah, that was pretty smart because he knew those cops were dirty. He knew they killed his son.
And he
They
didn't
said at
take
the
that half
end
measure.
of the episode before that his son had been killed,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and his son was a cop, and so you know right there that Mike's got to have a hand in doling out some justice.
Yep.
Yeah, and that speech that he did, I broke my board. I think that was
Oh God.
equally as good as his half measure speech.
Oh yeah, I
If not
agree.
even better, if not even better.
Yeah, the internet just exploded with, I saw my favorite post was congratulations to Jonathan Banks for winning the Emmy last night.
If he
Later
if he doesn't win an Emmy or if he's not nominated, I'll be very surprised.
I would be too.
These are emotions we have not seen from Mike ever.
I know. And we understand now, what Mike was all about on Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he doing those things? Why was he working for Gus Fring?
Mm-hmm. Why is he so protective of Jesse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because Jesse reminded him of his son.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
except that his son was apparently just clean
Mm-hmm.
as a whistle. And just as a matter of safety, he told his son, you got to take this money.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot to tell him to have a poker face about it too.
Yeah.
And he just it's incredible because he's great. They killed him anyway. And right before they did, I made him like me. I made him a dirty cop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He feels a lot of guilt about that.
Yeah.
But it was just so, elaborate and perfect. And Mike just could do anything by himself. He doesn't need necessarily, somebody to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
great on his own. He had to really carry that whole episode because it was just basically Mike.
Yeah.
And he knew that they weren't going to shoot him with their guns.
Mm-hmm.
So this would, this empty gun, because you notice the cop tries to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not loaded.
And what I noticed was that the song was playing by 38 Special, and Mike was
Hold
getting
on
a
loosely.
38 gun.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And yeah, they did this thing where he was like not there, like everything was a giant blur that he was in.
Oh, as soon as he walks up to those cops and say, I know what you did," I knew something was about to go down.
And
Mhm.
everything started getting clearer.
Hmm.
His vision, the sound, but he still played that drunk thing. He was faking that.
Hmm.
And he had to be very effective with it, and he was. Because these cops know the difference.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they did.
lucky for Mike, he had plenty of practice being drunk, so it wasn't a far stretch for him.
Hmm.
No, it wasn't. And I mean, he did tremendous. Jonathan Banks, I've watched him, I've seen him on a lot of stuff, TV, movies, and all that. And this is the best I've ever seen of his acting. I mean,
Hmm.
he was always a good actor and a good character actor and all that, but this,
They
wow.
gave him more to do. They gave
Yeah.
him
Yeah, because
emotions.
Mike was usually the background guy. This is like, solely him. And they
Yeah.
gave him a lot to do.
And Mike, it pretty much is on a steady, just even keel, with little bursts of anger here and there to varying degrees. I have never seen him as angry as he was with Stacy
Yeah.
Hmm.
when,
Now, is Stacy, is that the same daughter-in-law that was in Breaking Bad?
it's not the same actress.
It's not the same actress?
It's not the same actress, but it's the same. That's Kaylee's
Person,
mom. That's
character.
Same character, yeah.
I noticed that Kaylee looked a little older. And I think everybody else brought that up too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she should be a lot younger. I'd have to see it again, but she has to be what, like 8 years younger?
Hmm.
But she was when Hank was talking to Mike when he was in the interrogation. Hank said that Kaylee was 10.
Right.
And I think that was season 5, like close to the end of season before Mike dies. And Hank says she was 10. So this was 6 years before he meet Walter. So it's got to be at least 6 or 7.
She should be a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
She must have been a big. She must
Don't
have
know
been
how
a
they
big.
let that slip.
She must have been a big 2-year-old because
She looked like she looked like she was about 10 right there. Maybe
Yeah.
even a little bit
She
younger.
8,
Like,
maybe 7, but not that much younger. Yeah, I don't know why they overlooked that.
mhm.
yeah.
The writer forgot. Nobody caught it. I don't know, but I mean, they're casting for this, and they,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
No, I think we forgot the vet. The vet was saying that he's going to try Mike. Does that mean we're going to meet Gus?
Mhm.
what was that? I think you broke up, and I didn't.
Oh, the veterinarian, the crooked veterinarian, where he got his
Oh,
mouth
yeah.
taken out. He was going to find work for Mike. You think that'd be Gus, or is it somebody else?
Oh wow, wasn't even thinking that.
Or is it too soon for Gus?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Gus is established.
Well, I tell you what, my feelings wouldn't be hurt if they brought in Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh,
Me either.
that might be the finale right there. Gus comes in at the end, and it just cuts to black, and then we have to wait a whole year to find out what happened.
Because yeah, I mean that Gus. I mean, that character. The fact that he could be a charming, good everyday, normal
Two-faced.
guy, and then all of a sudden behind the scenes he's this vicious dude.
Mm-hmm. But I can't wait to the next episode of
Yeah,
Better Call Saul.
I think we're going to see more backstory on Mike.
Yeah, we're going to
Probably.
see more of Mike. The Kettleman's apparently returns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this backstory on Mike. This is the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no way there's anything in his life more devastating and significant than this.
Yeah.
and they gave it to us, laid it right out.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted this online, but it reminds me a lot of an episode up in season 5 when Walt says to Mike, I'm not like you, Mike. I can't just leave. I have family.
Yeah.
And Mike's just like, yeah. And he doesn't, he's not even going to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mike has family too. He loves
Yeah.
that little girl. That little girl is his connection to his son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's Pop.
His
Yeah.
grandpa. But I like the ending. They left us on a good ending. Can you live with it?
Mm-hmm.
You know the answer. Can you live with it? And I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict this one. Episode 6 is a little predictable, but episode 7 is not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem to be on speaking terms in Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this is what, because she said, and I don't know if this will have anything to do with it, what she really wanted was for whoever killed her husband to spend their life in jail and then get thrown away
Mm-hmm.
when they croaked.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes death is merciful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
the first killings that we've had on Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Even in flashback, this is the first.
Yeah, I mean, when I was expecting, I thought, was there going to be any killings in Better Call Saul like Breaking Bad? And then it got to the killing part. I'm like, oh my God, there he is. It's just, oh my. I think we're going to be in one wild ride in the
Yeah.
last 4 episodes coming up. It's going to be one ride.
Mike is just, they give him these great little things to do. I mean, all these little elaborate things. And he's just such a professional criminal. It's like, I don't know, like he's washing cars or, he just, it's not a big deal. These guys are a big deal. This was
Yeah.
personal. When he does it for business, it's just very,
Mhm.
okay, onward.
Hmm.
And, time to go to bed. I need my sleep, he said before in Breaking Bad. I so hear you, Mike. I need my sleep too.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, as it moved along, there weren't any real surprises as it moved along, and
Mhm.
I wasn't shocked that it was his daughter-in-law, obviously, and it was still amazing to watch.
Mhm.
So
I think for the
there's the
Breaking Bad
hallmark of
fans, it
quality.
wasn't much of a surprise. But I think if for the people that just watched Better Call Saul and never seen Breaking Bad, it probably would have been a surprise for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're not thinking, they may not even remember Kaylee.
Hmm.
So they have
Right.
no
Yeah.
idea.
Well, see, yeah. The funny thing is, I had just finished watching the entire series. Finished watching the entire series of Breaking Bad, like a day before that. So some of the characters were still fresh in my mind, as far as his granddaughter and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in season 5, which makes a certain scene in season 5 even more painful than it was then, because
Mhm.
this whole new backstory added to it. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely an unlikely friendship is being formed here with Saul and Mike.
Yeah.
And I listened to a podcast about this, and it was, I think they were saying that Mike just knew Saul would do this.
Yeah.
Saul said he wasn't going to spill the coffee. There's no way he's doing something stupid like that.
Mhm.
And then he hears what's going on, and he's like, I got to do it for this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's going to be a big staple into the transitioning from Jimmy McGill to Saul Goodman.
Yeah, Mike's probably going to be a big influence on him, too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice guys finish last. I mean, he's a lawyer. You're going to make it. you can't be Mother Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And Mike will teach him.
Yep.
And somebody called Jimmy Matlock. He said, "No, I'm not Matlock. I just happen to look like a young Paul
Young
Newman
Paul Newman. Yeah.
wearing a
Dressed as
Matlock."
Matlock.
That was great.
He's got great one-liners.
I mean, there were some comedic elements to this episode, because of Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
because of Bob Odenkirk,
Yeah.
but the
But
drama.
I think the drama overshadowed that.
I do too. Yeah, the drama and the backstory of Mike and all that.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see Jimmy again next week, and he's going to have an office. The big office.
Finally.
I wonder if other people realized that he was faking drunk, because otherwise it looked really. I mean, if you thought so, if you weren't, if you didn't already know Mike that well, that he was drunk and opening his mouth, and they took his gun, and this is not going to be good for him.
Mm-hmm.
We knew where it was heading.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be quite the shock when he's clear as a bell, pointing the gun that he planted in the back and said, that was really smart. I would have done that the same way. Compliments them before he kills them.
Yeah.
But, in the back seat, pretending that he's drunk, saying, I know that you killed my son. Because that's the gauntlet. That's
Yeah, that line about they broke my boy. Oh, that'll break your heart.
Yeah. I mean, it's an emotion we haven't seen Jonathan Banks do. I mean, he's been badass up until this point, and then we see him break down because of his son, and we feel him. We feel him.
Yeah. And just I watched that scene again, and he just I remember watching it the first time, and I'm like, just say everything already, because just validate what we think, But actually, we'd already seen what he did, but it's I don't know. It's believable. It's Mike.
Yeah.
It's the way he would talk about something this big, as slow as that. He just takes his time. He's never in a rush, and he's not happy to say what he's going to say. And it's like he starts losing it, pulls himself together, loses it, pulls himself together really fast.
Yeah.
And then at some point, his eyes are just completely red. Like, this is the most devastating thing that's ever happened to him. That he keeps going is because of that little girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's like the good bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm always going off about
he's the
this person in Breaking Bad is less moral.
Yes, Shane, exactly. Like Walter White was. He was an anti-hero.
Walter White doesn't hold a candle to Mike.
No.
I mean, Walt did despicable things Mike would never even think of doing.
Yeah.
They're different. They're so different. But
Yeah, because I don't think Mike would have shot a kid or would have poisoned a kid.
No. He would. I don't think he would ever do that.
And there are a lot of stupid things Walt did.
Because when Todd shot that kid, Mike got pissed off and said, "You never bring a gun to a thing without letting me know first."
That's right.
Yep. I'm skipping ahead. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're skipping ahead though, but it corresponds with the story, really, of this past Better Call Saul. I mean, we can't talk about Mike without skipping ahead.
No, we can't. You're right.
Mike's a rational, thoughtful guy, and he's got something in common with Tortuga,
Yeah.
Maybe slow, but I always win.
That's a great comparison.
After that, comparisons end, but.
But
Mike, I'm always on, comparing characters, Mike, like he says, lost his soul a long time ago. But he's not evil for the sake of evil, and there's
Right.
this goodness behind him, and I can't help but like this bad guy.
Oh, I know. I mean,
Mhm.
the way he's more. I think he's more sympathetic than Walter White. Walter White eventually became very unsympathetic.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah, he made us like him and feel for him, and then started to betray our trust.
Mhm.
You know?
You're talking about Walt.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But Mike, I mean, see, now we know what's going on with Mike. See, we know the
Mhm.
backstory.
Of Mike. Now,
Yeah.
if we can get the backstory of Gus, which I think is coming up this season, I think that's going to be the season finale right there.
That would be
I
tremendous.
could be wrong, but I think that's going to be the season finale. I think this is what it's leading into.
Well, we
Because,
already saw Gus's, big devastating moment.
hmm yeah, we did.
Uh,
But I think
and-
this whole thing with Mike is leading up to how he met Gus.
but that changed the way Gus approached things. Gus was approaching this as I go to the big guy and I will do things for the big guy.
Hmm
And after that, he's like, no, I am the big guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Which, I was thinking about this back to the episode that when, because Walt always wants to make the money himself.
hmm
Right.
And maybe this is nitpicky, but when Gus offers it to him, he's basically offering to employ him. You cook for me, I pay you,
hmm
like a contract. And
Mhm.
and yeah, he works for it, but it's not the, hey, I went out and built an empire thing.
Yeah. But the thing is that we don't know what's going to happen after those 3 months are up.
Right, Walt thinks he'll do it, get the 3 million, be done again.
hmm
This guy's done more times than he's always
Yeah.
done. Because he knows that's the right thing to do, but he's compelled.
hmm
Right now by money, and then it just blossoms, it's a really bad word for it, into all kinds of motivation.
hmm
That 737 is a very small plane compared to 747 or 3 million or 80 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, of course, eventually that's how much he has. Yeah, that's how much he has after
Like-
all the money he gets.
20 million. They didn't even count it all. Skyler couldn't even keep up with it.
That was one of hers. Yeah, it's jumping ahead, but that's
Mhm.
like one of her smarts. Each bill weighs a gram. And how many bills and what the different denominations. But yeah, counting money by weighing it.
Mhm.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I think we got all of our points in this emotional train wreck right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that was a tremendous episode of Better Call Saul, and the Breaking Bad season 3 episode 1 really sets the stage for all the stuff that's going to be happening.
The seeds are being planted, Henry.
Oh yeah, Walt doesn't even know that there are people in Mexico that would like to cut off his head.
Mhm.
Oh.
He has no idea. He's in a little bubble.
But next week is going to be episode 2. I don't even know how to pronounce the name. The English version is A Horse with No Name.
Caballo sin nombre.
Yeah. the English translation is A Horse with No Name.
Right.
And we'll hear that song in the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
I've known that song since probably when it came out. Since I was a kid.
Wow.
I've
And
heard it too.
now whenever I hear it, it's Breaking Bad.
You think of Walt.
Exactly.
Just like Badfinger's Baby Blue. I mean, now you
I've
can't
never
hear
heard of that song before until they played it on the final episode. Now
Me neither. I never heard
It wasn't big on my radar, but yeah, when I hear it now, yeah.
Yeah. We think of the final episode of Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody down the road, I get some crazy neighbors, was blasting some music in one of their trucks, and it was that 38 Special song. And I just thought that was okay. I'm like, now I'm never gonna hear this song without thinking about Mike in the bar and just
Yeah.
how well
Yep.
they did it. I'm
Mhm.
so glad they gave Jonathan Banks the opportunity to show his
Oh
stuff.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he is terrific.
I think if they
He
would
is
have done a
true.
spin-off with Mike, he would have carried that
Oh, can you
easily as
imagine?
Bob Odenkirk.
Can you imagine it, Jonathan Banks with his own spin-off? Oh, that would
Oh,
be tremendous.
that, yeah, that would be great. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah.
He's getting on though. It's like, stay healthy,
He's
Jonathan. Keep doing this.
he's
Yes,
in
please stay
his
healthy.
late
So
60s.
we
68.
can see Vince Gilligan's story. But speaking of Vince Gilligan, I've been watching the X-Files. That's been written by Vince Gilligan, and they
Yeah.
are fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna go watch back and watch the other episodes as well. But two of them
There's some
stand
like
out.
campy aspects to that show that drive me crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
Hmm.
It's not stuff you see on shows every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the whole Scully, it's got to be explainable. And Mulder's like, no, it's supernatural. And
But two episodes stood out for me, and I recommend them: Paper Hearts and Monday.
Hmm.
Monday.
the only one I remember is Drive. But I mean, I've probably seen them all.
Hmm.
But I don't know the
And
other ones by title.
Dreamland Parts 1 and 2 is fantastic. It's got Michael McKean. He plays the
Chuck.
Oh wow.
Man in Black agent, and
Chuck.
it's Chuck. We didn't see Chuck today last week.
No, we
We didn't
didn't.
see a lot of people.
Yeah, it was just solely on Mike. And
No,
next week
they
it's
were
Chuck.
they were focusing more on Mike this week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Hamlin,
Yeah.
no what's her name who works
Kim.
for who?
Mhm.
Kim.
What's her name?
Kim.
Kim, yeah.
Kim Wexler. Webler.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wexler.
Wexler. There we go.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
like the Jonathan Banks show. I didn't even watch previews for next week yet, so
Oh, check him out.
and I don't get to watch till Tuesday after work because I can't stay up that late.
Oh.
I need my sleep. So like I'm like in the morning looking at Facebook and somebody posted. I'm like, wait, don't go.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do Facebook.
Don't
after
read.
Better Call
Don't read.
Saul.
But somebody said, I think it was from Forbes magazine, a critic there said it was the best hour of television since Ozymandias.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I read that.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with him. But I don't think nothing can beat Ozymandias.
Oh.
It's up there. It's up there with it. But nothing
Yeah,
can
it
beat
is. I mean, Ozymandias, what? Oh my God.
it. Yeah.
That
So-
episode was so much happened on that episode.
Mhm.
It was the crumbling, the sonnet was perfect for it. This
Mhm.
king and his kingdom, and it all just crumbles into the sand, and it's nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was so perfect, and I'm sure Henry, you've heard that audio of Bryan Cranston reading it, right?
I think so.
If not, just
Got it.
Google search it. Ozymandias, Bryan Cranston, and it'll pop up. He reads the poem.
You know what I want to get? I don't have little kids anymore. Don't want grandkids anytime soon, but there's these audiobooks apparently that Bryan Cranston reads, and one of them is You Have to Fucking Eat. You look it up. It's a real brief audio of him reading from this book, and it's so funny. So it's not really a kid's book. You wouldn't read it to your kids, but
No.
you
I
have
wouldn't
to
think
fucking
so.
eat.
I don't think so. At least I hope not.
Yeah, apparently there's a whole bunch of it. The way you talk as an exasperated parent with a kid.
I saw something. It was a meme that said, what if the end of Breaking Bad was actually a dream, and as it was actually Walt with his protection, and that was the beginning of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's an
I was
oldie.
thinking that too. That would have been hilarious.
And I mean, it was so everybody said it all the time, so
Mhm.
that's why they did that alternate ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But next week is bingo for Better Call Saul, right? I think it's called
Bingo.
Yep.
Damn Jello for ruining everything.
Mm-hmm.
bingo. Screw you, Jello.
What was this last episode called?
5-0.
5-0.
Oh, of
5-0.
course, yeah. Right,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
And bingo. Are we gonna see what's his face? Tio?
Ooh, we might.
Yeah, Tio, Hector. Yeah.
But I think
Isn't that the
from
nursing
the
home?
previews, there's going to be a bingo parlor involved. So Jimmy's
Uh-huh.
probably going to go to a bingo parlor and trying to get some elder law going on.
Yeah, the Jello cups and the
The Madlock
doing
suit.
wills.
That was a brilliant
Fine.
touch.
He's definitely gonna find that. He thinks he's gonna have a niche with old people.
Uh-huh.
And that A, they want a lot of your time, and B, they don't want to part with a lot of their money. So it really is not necessarily the demographic you want to go after.
No.
Yeah.
That was so brilliant when he had the cups with the picture, the Jello cups with the picture on the bottom, with his picture on the bottom of them.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that company not let them use it? I mean,
I know that's good product placement right there.
free advertising.
Yeah.
And they could have capitalized on that by putting freaking Saul on the bottom of the Jello cups for like.
They really have a board of directors that's got some stick up their butt about Breaking Bad and anything.
At least Cinnabon let them use theirs. I mean,
I
know.
love that publicity.
yeah.
They got right in on that, and they were giving away free Cinnabons and all that
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was funny. The line in Breaking Bad, it was on the
Yeah,
episode
you saw that.
Granite State, where Saul talked about, I may wind up managing a Cinnabon in Omaha or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
In a month of
what does Miss
Milwaukee.
Gilligan do?
He does it.
Yeah.
That genius bastard
Well,
Vince Gilligan.
obviously, they talked about the plan
Mhm.
because Saul is at the vacuum cleaner place first.
Yeah.
And they have to work out the details, but he knows what the plan is basically, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
so. And he was saying best case scenario in a month, if everything goes to plan,
Mhm.
according to plan, and this is what I'll be doing. But,
Yeah.
oh, God, I thought of something important, and I don't remember what it was.
If you remember, you can tell us next week.
Doubtful. CRS, it's a precursor to Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah, CRS or all. I have a friend who calls it sometimers.
Sometimes.
So next week is Better Call Saul Bingo in episode 2 of season 3 of Breaking Bad. It's going to be loaded.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling it's going to be a loaded show.
Gotta say, this episode of TV, I had lots of things to watch. Been watching Battle Creek. Meh. Shameless.
Ooh.
Walking Dead. Bates Motel started back up again, and then Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul was, better than everything else combined.
Speaking of Battle Creek, I saw the latest episode. They did a meth
that
montage.
was really kind of cool.
The 99% pure syrup. That was
with
great.
the
I
cooking
love that.
process and yeah.
Yeah. I thought
Yeah,
it was
they were
great.
not subtle about that reference at all.
No.
They were dealing with maple syrup as
Mhm.
as if we're the meth empire. It was pretty funny.
Some people have said that there are actually Breaking Bad references on The Walking Dead, or there have
there are a
been.
few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
At
Or
least
maybe 3. That was the RV one that Henry talked about. a couple
Oh,
weeks
yeah,
ago.
that's recent. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, actually, there was an RV earlier, too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so 3. Oh, and the thing that came up this week, and they did a podcast, they did with all the
Oh yeah,
Breaking
I
Bad
gotta hear
episodes.
that. I gotta hear that.
They're long, so it's like find
Mhm.
something that you can physically do while you listen, otherwise. But they were talking about Vince Gilligan is pleading people to stop throwing pizzas on
Yeah,
that house's
on Walt
roof.
White's
Those people
house.
don't want pizza on their roof. And Jonathan Banks was there too, and he was like, I'll go after you if you do it or something.
Yeah, I can't
don't
believe
want-
people actually do that.
You don't want Mike coming after you.
What a waste of a pizza. Give it to them and say, here, I got dipping sticks.
Oh, speaking of dipping sticks, I was watching the X-Files, and Mulder got 2 dipping sticks to ward off vampire.
Uh-huh.
He was using
Garlic,
it as
I
a
take it.
cross. He was using it as a cross, and he was trying to ward off vampires, but that didn't work so well.
I hope they were garlic flavored.
It didn't work. They didn't work.
Mm. Been a long time since I've seen that show.
Oh yeah, it's really good. I like it. I'm glad. I didn't watch it when I was a kid because it was scary.
Uh-huh.
I didn't watch it when everybody else watched it. I watched it when I used to be up in the middle of the night because of back issues that I had to have surgery on. And I was just awake. I couldn't sleep, so I binge watched marathons of the X-Files at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Kind of like Henry watched 5B last week.
You just can't hold on to 11 months, can you?
Yeah. Another one of my shows is Orange is the New Black. And it's Netflix, so they'll just dump the entire season all at once on one day, and it'll all be there. And I think, yeah, you know what? I'll just watch 1 episode a week. No, 2 days, I'm done. It's like, somebody says, okay, here's 2 months worth of food, maybe 3 months worth of food. You gotta ration it and make it last, and you squander it all in 2 days.
Well, we're getting our paybacks. Karma is coming after us because we got to wait a whole year for season 2 of Better Call Saul. Oh. Well, let's go ahead and end this thing.
Yeah.
So next week's going to be Bingo, Better Call Saul, and episode 2, season 3.
Horse with no name.
Bingo equipment, and if it's warranted, I will definitely bring it to the BadCast. We'll have, somebody makes a good point, boom, dial the number.
Go right ahead. I'll give you permission.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so see you next week, guys. Good night.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night,
Later.
guys.